Hey guys, welcome back to the next part of our series. Today we're going to finish the elements here, and for that I want to show you how to do the last two little, what's it called, cards that I'm missing, which is the breakaways and the eyebrows. So let me show you real quick. I'm going to go here and I'm going to duplicate one of these squares. I'm going to bring it here. As you can see, I've been trying to plan everything so that everything fits in a square. One way you can check this out is go to your front view, turn on your resolution gate, go to your render settings, and go down here and fit it into a 2K square. Now, if you can't see the whole thing, this is due to the camera. So you're just gonna go into your camera, which should be the front one, and you're gonna go down here in the shape node up to object display, display options, and the overscan. You need to bring it, I believe it's higher. Yeah, let's go to like an overscan of 2. There we go. I think 2 is too much. 1.8 should be good. Cool. So I know that eventually when I fit everything into a hair card or into a map, it's going to be something like this. So yeah, we pretty much can fit everything here. You, of course, are going to want to have this in the, or utilize as much space as possible. So you're going to be trying to zoom everything in while still keeping the different elements there. So let's update this. There we go. So, okay, this is something that we're going to be worrying about later on. So, transition hairs. Transition hairs should be short and should be very random. It's like a little bit of a fade that we wanna create. So I'm gonna call this transition hair, and I'm gonna do the same technique in case you didn't understood it when I mentioned it on this one. I'm gonna do the same technique. I'm gonna use one card, just one card, and I'm gonna try to get like several patches of this transition hairs in here. So this is what I'm going to do. Let's first make sure that we have frozen the transformations. There we go. So back here. Oh, quick tip. Double click. Control C. There we go. This is just a lot easier to just write the final suffix there. Cool. So guides. I'm going to add 1, 2, 3, 4 guides there. 1, 2, 3 guides there. And let's say 1, 2, 3 guides there. So now when we do this, we're going to get this. Now, this, again, as I mentioned, it should be short, so I'm just gonna make it go slightly higher, just a little bit. The cool thing about hair is that we can also scale it down later on when we're working in with the cards themselves. So it really doesn't matter. As long as you can work nicely here, it should be good. Now here, the density should not be as dense, but we should have a little bit of density, so I think a density of 5 is gonna be good. The thickness, I've been using 0.04 for everything, and now I'm just gonna lower this and create the teardrop shape that we know and love. There we go. Let's call this a spline and spline to get a softer look there. Perfect. Now the cool thing is going to be the mask here. I'm going to create a new map here. Just going to call this transition hair mask. I'm going to make this black. Create. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one patch here, one patch here, and if we lower the size of the brush, we should be able to create another small patch in there. There we go. So when we save this, what I'm expecting to see, perfect, is this. I'm expecting to have like 3 little patches that I can create some hair cards on top of and just use them as transition hairs. Now these ones won't have any clumping, so I'm just gonna go here and add a little bit of noise. There we go. Probably a little bit more, just a tad bit. There we go. Maybe not that much. I think that's a little bit too much. Let's more frequency, less noise. Let's magnitude, and that's it. That's all we need for the transition hairs. That's gonna bake very nicely into a hair card, and we're gonna be able to use this to blur out the line that comes from the head onto the rest of the character. Now for the eyebrows, there's a couple of different ways to do it. We could do it this way, but if you take a look at the way eyebrows are very complex in the direction that they take. Like you can see here that they do clump a little bit here, and they also are very individual strands, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do something very similar to what we did here, but with another plane. So let's move this here. Let's make this smaller, like so. Let's bring it to a place where we're not gonna touch any other hair. Make sure that we're not, see that, like, that's very important that we don't touch anything else, because we don't want to have any conflicts later on with the shading and stuff. So what I'm going to do with the eyebrows is actually I'm going to create 3 little islands like what we have here with guides, and one of them is going to be, as you can see here again, one of them is going to be like a couple or maybe 4 or 5 strands clumping together. One one of them is going to be like just probably 2 strands semi-clumping, and one's going to be just 1 strand that I'm going to use to very carefully place in the specific place. Like all of these small ones that we have here, those are probably going to be individual strands that we're going to have to hand place. So the way we're going to do this is very easy. Just call this eyelashes. There we go. I'm going to add a description here. Eyelashes description. Make sure that this is on. Create. And we're going to add 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. There we go. We're gonna create the mask. I'm gonna leave it probably a little bit longer, just a little bit, just like that. There you go. Now we're gonna create the mask. So we'll call this eyelashes mask. Oop. There we go. Black. Great. We're gonna paint a little spot there. We're gonna paint a little spot there and a little spot there. Save the mask. And now here's where we play with the density. We're gonna say, you know what, we probably want, yeah, I think a density of 1 is fine. Let's see how it changes with the, yeah, there we go. And in this case, I'm gonna leave the tip or the root a little bit higher. Same with the outer edge, like because I don't want them to be super thin. Otherwise, it's gonna be really difficult to control. And probably no noise, maybe just a little bit. Let's see how, well, maybe a little bit of clumping. Okay, but what I'm going to change here, and this is something that I haven't used before, in the setup maps, instead of using the generate, I'm going to select guide. And what this is going to do is it's going to use the guides as a way to clump everything together, as you can see there. We're going to reduce the amount of clumpiness. Let's go to like half, so 0.5. And there we go. So now we have very nice hairs that are going towards a same point. And we can use all of this. You might think, hey, where's the individual one? Well, we have this one right here. So I know that if we go to the front view, we can have just a little square there capturing just that one fiber, and it should be fine. And that's it, guys. As you can see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 maps with a lot of different possibilities that we can use to create all this hair. So in the next videos, guys, one more thing. This file, the hair setup file, should be in your project folders if you want to check the modifiers, the elements, and everything that I did. The collection should also be there. If I remember correctly, let me just double check and make sure it's there. Here, when you create this, yeah, the action folder in the collections, you're gonna have all the collections. So all the descriptions. This way it's very important to have a different name for everything. I misspelled a lot, to be honest, but as long as it's a different name, it should be fine. And as you can see, this is ready. So the next step, guys, is we're gonna be baking the textures. We need to find a way in which to transfer all of this cool information from Action into actual maps that we're gonna be able to map into cards and finally place in our character. So in the next video, we're gonna be using Arnold Renderer to create the texture maps that we need for our hair. So hang on tight, and I'll see you back on the next video. Bye bye.